Hello and welcome to another video. We're going to be continuing on our contact controller from the previous video. Previously, we made the create contact. We done a bit of debugging. We then created an auth middleware to deal with grabbing the user's ID. So continuing in that vein, I think what we're going to do is we're going to make a getAllContacts. For this one, we want a happy case where we provide it with a logged in user, and it then finds all the contacts to do with that user, and then it returns the list of contacts to do with that user with like a 200 status of okay. Otherwise, we want an unhappy one where we get an internal server error where something's gone wrong, basically. We'll keep it fairly straightforward. So let's think about this and plan out the flow. Same sort of way how we've done the registration flow and everything. Let's think about this. In fact, I'm going to kind of copy and paste some of my flow because I'm going to want a similar sort of concept. I'm going to copy my login flow for now. Copy, paste, drag it down. So instead of use login flow, we'll have a create contact flow. No, not create contacts, get all contact flow this time. We should have probably made a create contact flow as well. Get all contact flow. So the front end sends. This time it's not sending a body, it's sending a header. So the front end just needs to send header. That's going to contain a header. The header is going to have authorization and then some sort of a bearer space and some sort of token. Yeah. So I'll just say token at this point. getWt token. So it's kind of what we're sending off. We're sending this sort of thing, right? That's basically what we're going to be sending out to the user. So in the happy case, we'll say that correct token is sent. There we go. And it won't be hitting the register. We'll be hitting the slash for our purpose. The slash will be actually a contact slash, but we'll deal with that. And it's not going to be register. It's going to be get all contacts. Yeah, all contacts. So here we're going to do auth middleware. We'll say we're passing it headers. And that's going to be get all contacts. We'll say ID because technically it's the user's ID that's going to end up being pulled from the request. So if this all works out correctly, then we'll get a response 200 with a message. What do we want the message to be? Well, the message is going to be an array of contacts. So I'll just make it be an array of contacts. Yeah, obviously it's not the content, but that's pretty much what we're sending back. And there we go. Then the front end gets that. So that's great. This is our happy case, right? And our unhappy case is basically just the bottom one with the 500. So what we can do, we can get rid of this one. Oops. That's not needed. We can grab this one, move it up, and we'll have our unhappy case. This time we send it. I mean, there's technically a few possible unhappy cases, but I'm just going to say that we don't send on the headers. incorrect token or something. Unhappy case, all info not correctly sent. That'll do that. That's fine. Again, not to the register. This is going to be to the slash of the contacts. And again, same sort of concept. We're putting the same things in. Get all contacts. And we'll copy this auth middleware part here. Paste in. Let's say auth not supplied, obviously. And respond with 500 internal server errors. So that's literally what we're going to get. So now we've got the happy and unhappy cases. Right. Now that we've done that, I'm going to code that up. Shouldn't be too hard. It's going to be similar to what we've already done. So let's go and do that. I'll just make this full screen. Move that out of the way. So here's where I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a exports dot get all contacts. And it's going to be an async function like the other one. It's going to need to take rec and res. You see the pattern here. Again, I'm going to do a try catch block. So I'll say try some stuff, catch an error. Yeah. So for the happy case, let's have a look. What is it we've got to do? Well, all we need is that request user ID. So what we're going to do is we're going to say const contacts is equal to await of contact dot find, and we're going to look for a contact, all contacts basically, where our user is going to be our request dot user dot, and it's underscore ID. Let's store that as ID. That's basically it. So if that, it's either going to return us an empty array, or it's going to return us an array of whatever contacts are to do with that thing. So then we can do a res dot status of our happy case, which is 200, which is okay, dot JSON with a message. Well, actually, no, we're not even doing a message at this point. We're just returning the contacts, an array of contacts. So it's either going to be an empty array, or it's going to contain a bunch of contacts or whatever. So otherwise, we want to deal with the unhappy case, which is just going to be a response of status 500 for an internal server error, unhappy times, with a JSON message. Yeah, you guessed it, where our message is basically just internal server error. And that's basically it. There's not a lot to this one, but the planning took most of the time off like usual. So that's that. So now we need to kind of add this as a route. So we need to go to our contact routes and add it as a route. So we've got create contact, which is a post. In this case, we want to kind of do a get, don't we? Because we're getting all contacts. Still though, to the slash. So we want to do a get. So I'll say router dot get, passing it slash, then contacts, or rather contact controller dot get all contacts. That hooks it up ready. Okay. Now, if we go over to our program, it's restarted the server. Let's see if that's all we had to do. So we can just do a get now. Let's do it with this just for the hell of it. Let's make a new get to http://local host :5000 /API/contacts and send. See what we get. Invalid token. Yeah, that's good. That's our That's our incorrect thing. Now, if we look at the headers, we've got no headers. Yeah. So in this situation, we've got our unhappy case. So now let's try and make the happy case. For this, though, I need to log in. And the problem what I think I'm going to get is possibly that it's not going to be able to grab the data from the database. Because remember, I said that it was one day that it was going to be available for. I'm going to presume that that day has gone and that we now have an invalid IP address. You know, this is gone now. So if I refresh this is going to be a problem. It's not going to connect. Well, other than the fact that I'm logged out. Let's quickly log in. Again, this is why I wanted to do this, because these are things that you can come across, and these are going to be real world problems that you're going to face. So let's have a look. Blah blah. For some reason, it's active. Oh, I've still got 4 hours left of that day. How cool is that? Okay, so we're not having that problem. We will have that problem soon, but we don't have it right this second. That's cool. So in that case, so once I actually do this login stuff and things, so let's go over and not register. Let's just log in, send, and get me a new token. So I've now got a token. Yeah. Copy this, and basically similar thing that we're doing with our post. You see our headers, the authorization. We're going to do the same sort of thing. So we're going to go to our get, add a key of authorization, add bearer, space, and the token. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. Oh, look, we get a list of the different things made by this user. Okay, look at the ID. 6621, blah, 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 ending in 56A5. Same sort of thing for, sorry, not the ID, the user ID, ending in 079, C079. So this is our user ID. It's pulling that user ID and only showing you things to do with that user ID. Okay. If I were to register another user, let's have a look. Let's get the body up. Test user 123. Test user 123 at gmail.com with a password. Let's register that user. User is registered successfully. Now, let's copy that. I'm going to make a new post request. I'm going to add the body raw JSON. I'm going to then do the post request to user login and send that through. Now we've got another token to a different user. So I'm going to utilize this token now. I'm going to copy this token. I'm going to go back to my get request, swap out the header as in this token here. Yeah, so I'm going to edit this token. Oops, edit this token. Copy, delete that. Put our new token in with a different user and send. Notice how now we've got this empty list because this user has not made any contacts. Okay. How cool is that? If I now want to make some contacts with this user, I can do so. So let's go through the process. So we've hit 2 happy cases. One happy case is where it's getting the empty list of contacts by the user that doesn't have any contacts, and we've hit the happy case where a user has contacted them back, and we've hit an unhappy case of where it's not the correct thing. We can try an unhappy case with this user as well and just get rid of some things, send it, invalid token again. Yeah. There we go. So invalid tokens. So that's cool. We've now tested that feature. We've added a feature to it and we've tested it. We know that works. So now let's do a commit. Implemented the get or contact and commit this. How cool is that? I'm not going to end it there. I could do, but I know you guys like to see a little bit more content. So now that we've done that one, what's the next thing that we could possibly do? What else could we actually add? We've got a list of things to add, really, because we've got our things that we created. So maybe we want to get a contact by a specific ID. So let's have a look at our sort of README for a start off. Where are we? Do we have got a getAllContacts, getContactById? It's going to request the get with ID. Yeah. So another get request. This we need to make our getContactById. Let's take a look at our whimsical thing that we made. And let's go up to the point where we actually have our different things. So let's look, getContactById. Yeah, we want to do that. So what is it that we need? getContactById is going to request response. It needs a parameter of ID and a request user. So this one doesn't necessarily need a body at this point. It needs what we call params. So we're going to look at something different. We haven't used params at this point yet. Yeah. So in this situation, we're sending a parameter, which is basically just something it pulls from the web, you know, from the address, basically. And then we also need to do the whole headers with the request body and not request body. So we're not using a request body at all at this point. Okay. This one's going to have 2 unhappy cases and 1 happy case for our purposes. So for this design, we're going to again use the user login flow copy. So we're going to copy this because we want 2 unhappy cases and a happy case. So that's great. We're going to just literally copy, scroll down here somewhere, click around, paste, and drag it down a bit. There we go. So this one's going to be the what was it? getContactById. getContactById. So at this point, we're going to be getting, we'll say getting, here we're just sending again the headers. We'll have authorization and JWT token. Right, so that's what we'll be sending really as headers. Here is where we'd be sending our ID. So we can just say this will be /:ID, take it in as a parameter, some sort of ID. And here we're going to be, if we can actually click on the thing, come on, there we go. Get contact by ID, recres still. This one is going to, what we'll call this, check auth. Token. So we've got a point where maybe our token's incorrect and stuff like that as well. But let's do it's not going to be get user by ID. It's going to be get contact by ID. So now a happy version will just send us a status of 200 and also some sort of contact, a single contact. Yeah, so happy case all in front, and let's take this. The user does not already exist. Let's just say it as all info correctly checked. So that is a happy case. Now we've got one of our other unhappy cases where we end up with not a 400, we end up with a 404. Okay, so see if we can't find the contact. So we still have a message here actually. Contact not found. There we go. So for this to happen, we're basically going to, where are we? Let's copy that. Paste. Paste in. Unhappy case, not incorrect user. Let's say no contact. Basically, invalid contact ID of some sort. Yeah, actually, we'll put that invalid contact ID. Yeah, and again, we're hitting the /: ID, which is sending the parameters. We're going to copy this, paste it in, do the check auth, paste that in. Now in this point, can't find contact. And contact not found. There we go. So that's the flow for the sort of unhappy case there. Then we've got a similar sort of unhappy case here, where any other error happens. Info not correctly sent. There we go. What was this one? It's headers. Token. And same again, same endpoint. A little bit of repetition here. And then it's that much repetition, we're just going to copy, paste, copy, paste, say something like correct token. And here our message will be internal server error if need be. Again, this is just one of those things. So now we've got the possibilities of 3 possible unhappy cases. There are some technically happy cases, unhappy cases that can happen during this check auth position as well, where it's an incorrect token, but for now we'll do it as that. So now we have our happy and unhappy cases. Let's go code those up. Okay. Let's get back into the contact controller. Let's make a new one like getById. Let's do that down here. Exports, getContactById. Oh, sorry. And it's an async function. So we're going to be using a res pattern, the same way we've been doing. Then we're going to do our try catch block. But for our happy / unhappy case, they'll be in this try block here for the first line. So const contact is equal to await contact dot find one. So we only want one of them. We got to pass it an object with some stuff in. We want to get the ID. And the ID is going to be our request.params.id. So the thing that comes in on the address bar. And then our user is going to be the same as we've done previously. Request.user._ID. Those are the bits of information we need to pull a specific contact. Now, if we can't find that contact, so if that contact doesn't exist, then we want to return a response.status of 404, cannot find it, not found. and then we'll give it a JSON message of contact not found. There we go, on happy case. And if it gets past that, we have our happy case happening. So res.status of OK, which is 200, and give it the JSON of that specific contact. That's the happy case. Got one more unhappy case to deal with, which is basically this one here, exactly the same issue. Let's copy that, save a bit of typing, paste it in, save it. So now we've got our getContactById functionality done. We need to now give it the route for it. So we want the router next. So our contact router is going to need to be having some stuff added to it. So for this one, again, it's another get. So router.get, we want it to have /:ID, which denotes that we're going to take some parameters. We're going to have the contact controller dot get contact by ID, and that's it hooked up. Let's go and test it before we commit. So now what I want to do is get all the contacts first. So let's not get the ones for this guy. Let's find one of the other ones that we've logged in with, that one. Let's do that again just to make sure we've got current token. Let's copy that token. Go to our get. Let's swap out this token. Do a send. Let's get one of these. So let's find an ID. I'm going to go with this Bob Jones one here. So let's grab this ID, copy it, and I'm going to get by ID. So that's where it's going to be pulling that ID from. Let's see what happens. We've got it. How cool is that? It's give us the thing. We've got our happy case working. Let's go and give it an incorrect ID. Internal server error. It's a malformed ID. Let's give it a fully sized incorrect ID. Now contact not found, because that's not a malformed one, right? Now let's try giving it an incorrect token. Invalid token. So we're getting quite a few interesting sort of like things here. Oops. So we just tested all of the possible functionality of that too. So let's say that's a good feature. It's working. It's doing what we want it to do. Now it's time to make a nice commit. So we have implemented the feature of getContactById and commit. How cool is that? We've done 2 features during this video. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. We're going to do another couple of features in the next video. We'll sync the changes so that we've got those 2 commits in. Remember to make small commits, make often commits, regular often commits. Make them meaningful. If preferably make them be a feature or part of a feature, denoting. And when you do a push, try and only push the feature or bunch of features together. So if you make like 5 commits where it's one feature, so you commit first part of the feature, meaningful, testable part of the feature. Then you commit the next meaningful, testable part of the feature. Then you commit the next one, next one, next one. Now you've got these 5 commits. Now you've got the full feature done. It's time to push. Okay, so that's kind of my rule of thumb, at least. Okay, so it's been awesome. Hopefully you've enjoyed the content. Remember to thumbs up, like it if you want, and always feel free to subscribe to get more sort of notifications. Make sure you hit that bell icon as well to get those notifications. That concludes the video. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.